A Muay Thai fighter battles hordes of zombies to save the woman he loves in a bleak post-apocalyptic world, where climate change has driven humanity into a terrifying famine. Society has now been divided into two distinct classes: the wealthy, who live in secure zones with abundant supplies, and the common people, who struggle desperately to survive. But that is not all. A new threat has emerged, a mysterious virus that turns humans into ferocious, agile, and bloodthirsty zombies. Zombies are everywhere, on desolate streets, across parched fields, while the remaining survivors fight over scraps of food, creating a chaotic and perilous Bangkok. Singh, a former Muay Thai fighter, has left the ring behind and now works as a cargo transporter to make a living. He is a strong, tough, and somewhat aloof man, but beneath that exterior lies a warm heart. In the chaos of present-day Bangkok, Singh's job is extremely dangerous. One moment of carelessness, and gangs may show up to steal the cargo. However, being a top Muay Thai fighter, Singh handles them swiftly and efficiently. It has become routine, and both he and his colleague are used to it. Even so, when they return to deliver the goods, their manager still deducts their wages because one of the crates was damaged. He throws their pay at them with disdain, but Singh endures it all, because for now, survival is what matters most. Singh's girlfriend, Rin, is a dedicated doctor working at a local hospital, where she tirelessly cares for patients suffering from famine and disease. Their love for each other is the driving force that keeps them moving forward through this hardship. After a long, exhausting day, Singh returns home with injuries on his body. Rin is deeply worried. She doesn't want anything bad to happen to him and be left to suffer alone. Singh promises that he will always be careful and will try his best to prevent this from happening again. Still, Rin remains anxious, but she has no choice. She must return to the hospital to continue her work. At that moment, at a banquet held by a food corporation owned by Mr. Vasu, while the wealthy guests were greedily devouring premium sashimi amidst widespread famine, the host of the party suddenly doubled over in pain and began coughing up blood. Moments later, he started convulsing and was rushed to the hospital where Rin worked. This marked the beginning of a deadly virus, one that would turn humans into ferocious, bloodthirsty zombies. Rin made her rounds checking on the patients and then began performing a surgery. However, during the procedure, the hospital director ordered her to abandon the current operation to perform surgery on Mr. Vasu's wife. While walking through a hallway, she saw the virus-infected man being brought in, convulsing violently. As Rin and the hospital director discussed treatment options for Mr. Vasu's wife, he proposed using fish liver as a replacement for her own. Meanwhile, Mr. Vasu's secretary, who had been sedated, continued to thrash and transform uncontrollably. Then, his heart stopped. The medical team believed he was dead, but he wasn't. His entire eye turned black. His heart rate suddenly spiked back to life. His body mutated, and he attacked the nurse present in the room. Rin was about to tell the hospital director that they didn't yet know whether the fish livers were safe for the patient, when suddenly, screams echoed through the hallway. The infected man, now a zombie, was attacking the nurses, letting out savage, inhuman shrieks as he sank his teeth repeatedly into a nurse's neck. At that moment, Singh was at home when he heard an emergency broadcast about the situation at Prakamit Hospital. Without hesitation, he jumped on his bike and rushed there. Around the hospital, curious onlookers had gathered, while loudspeakers repeatedly warned people to stay away unless absolutely necessary. Special tactical forces had taken position and were evacuating civilians from the hospital, but many were still trapped inside. Singh grew increasingly anxious for his girlfriend. She hadn't made it out yet. At that moment, a person fell from above, crashing to the ground and sending the crowd outside into panic. The body twitched a few times, then transformed into a zombie. It lunged at the police officers, and those bitten soon began to turn as well. Singh pushed his way through the chaotic mob and entered the hospital just as the authorities realized the severity of the situation. They immediately locked down the facility, allowing no one to leave. Inside, people were fleeing from something terrifying, though those outside were still unaware of the horrors within. Suddenly, a zombie burst through the entrance. A security guard pulled out his baton to fight it off, but the virus was already spreading rapidly throughout the hospital. Singh rushed inside the hospital to find his beloved Rin. She was hiding in a room, desperately trying to save a patient. However, outside, many others still needed help. Taking a risk, she prepared to go out. But before she could, a nurse who had been bitten transformed and began attacking the patient. Terrified, Rin screamed as the creature lunged at her. She managed to escape just in time and heard Singh's voice calling her name. Singh tried to reach her through the hospital's PA system, but there was no response. Determined, he set out to find her. Suddenly, a zombie charged at him. With his Muay Thai skills, he fought it off multiple times, but the creature was vicious and relentless. In the end, Singh had to use an electrical cable to restrain it. He then ran into the hallway, battling his way through more zombies. There, he spotted a young boy named Buddy being attacked. Singh arrived just in time to save him. The clever boy told Singh to aim for the head. It was their weakness. While Singh was fending off a group of zombies, one managed to bite Buddy's leg. The boy screamed, begging Singh to tell his mother that he loved her very much. But when they looked down, they realized the zombie had lost both of its front teeth before the bite, and Buddy had escaped harm. Hearing that the boy knew Rin, Singh asked him to lead the way. Together, they headed to the 3rd floor, where both Rin and the boy's mother worked, hoping to find him there. Meanwhile, the security guard, though not the strongest, had proven surprisingly resilient and was still alive. Upon hearing a little girl crying out for her mother and wandering outside, he stepped forward to shield her. Tragically, he was mistaken for a threat and was shot dead by the police forces stationed outside. Sometimes, being too kind in a world like this can get you killed far too quickly. Elsewhere, the police and government authorities were urgently discussing how to identify the source of the virus's spread. They knew it had to be contained before it reached the entire city, or worse, the entire country. Upon realizing that the number of people trapped inside the hospital was only a tenth of the current population, they made a grim decision to sacrifice the few for the many. The order was given to blow up the hospital, in an attempt to eradicate the source of the outbreak. Rin and a few other doctors were still hiding on one of the hospital's upper floors. Determined to see if anyone else needed help, she ventured out. She narrowly avoided a zombie and slipped into a nearby room, but the door was locked, and the key was on a zombie nearby. Carefully, she crept toward it, trying not to make a sound. But despite her caution, the zombie sensed her presence and let out a shriek, lunging toward her. Rin quickly snatched the key and managed to slam the door shut just in time. Inside, she checked the security cameras, and what she saw chilled her to the bone. The entire hospital was overrun with zombies. Blood was everywhere. It was a horrifying, nightmarish scene. Singh and the boy Buddy found the surgical assignment board and discovered that Rin and Buddy's mother were on the 5th floor. However, Buddy spotted a zombie that looked particularly ridiculous and couldn't help but burst into laughter. His laughter drew the attention of a horde of zombies nearby. Singh held them off briefly, and the two of them fled down a hallway. Fortunately, Buddy knew the hospital layout like the back of his hand and led Singh to a patient room. Inside were a father and his child. The father lay on the hospital bed, while the son, believing that no one in the hospital would survive, had already injected himself with a lethal dose to end his life. The sight left Buddy stunned and speechless. Just then, the zombies outside smashed through the glass window on the door. Singh urged Buddy to climb out the window quickly. As they climbed, the horrifying sight of the zombies tearing the father and son apart left Buddy trembling with fear. He struggled to climb, and suddenly, another zombie grabbed his leg, nearly pulling him down. Singh caught Buddy's arm just in time. The boy clung tightly to him, gasping for breath, terrified beyond words. Singh and Buddy made their way down the corridor in search of Rin and the boy's mother. Along the way, they saw zombies tearing into human corpses, shrieking in a frenzy. The two moved cautiously, trying not to make a sound. Finally, Buddy was reunited with his mother. However, she had already been infected by the virus. Struggling to stay conscious, she handed Buddy his asthma inhaler and asked Singh to take care of her son. She urged Buddy to leave. The boy refused to part with his mother, so Singh had no choice but to pull him away. In desperation, Buddy bit Singh's arm and ran back, only to find that his mother had already turned into a zombie. The boy broke down in tears, sobbing uncontrollably. His cries attracted nearby zombies, who quickly swarmed to attack them. With Buddy clinging to his back, Singh fought fiercely, striking down the undead as he moved. The two narrowly escaped and managed to hide in a fire escape stairwell. Rin was still hiding in the surveillance room when she discovered that Mr. Vasu's VIP suite was the safest location in the hospital. She decided to make her way up there to seek shelter. Vasu welcomed her in and asked her to stay and help treat his wife, assuring her that a rescue team would soon arrive. Indeed, the police had just received direct orders. The police chief dispatched an elite unit tasked with safely extracting Mr. Vasu and his wife. Vasu then asked Rin to fetch more blood for his wife, as the current supply was running low. Out of compassion and kindness, Rin agreed. Risking her life, she ran out into the infected halls. Luckily, she managed to slip through a door without being noticed by the zombies. Meanwhile, after comforting Buddy, who was still shaken from witnessing the horrifying transformation of his mother, Singh led the boy out, determined to keep searching for Rin. As they moved through the corridor, Singh spotted her necklace lying on the floor. He looked up, and there she was, right in front of him. Rin was carefully trying to sneak past a group of zombies, but the creaking sound of a door caught their attention. Singh immediately shouted to draw the zombies toward himself, diverting him away from her. The horde charged in his direction. Thinking quickly, Singh grabbed a gurney and used it as a shield, then launched into combat, fighting off the zombies one by one. Rin saw him, her heart filled with both relief and fear. She was inside, and he was outside, separated by the threat that stood between them. Singh fought desperately to clear a path to reach her, as a zombie was closing in on her fast, but there were too many of them. Buddy tried to open the door from his side, but it was locked. Quick thinking, Singh grabbed a fire extinguisher and smashed the window. He helped Buddy crawl through into the room just in time. The boy sprang into action, spraying the fire extinguisher to obscure the zombie's vision just as it was about to attack Rin. But Rin, overwhelmed with fear, made a sudden noise while trying to escape, just enough for the zombie to reorient itself. In the split second before it struck, Singh smashed its head with the fire extinguisher, again and again. In a frenzy, he only stopped when Rin ran into his arms, embracing him tightly. That was when he finally calmed down. The Special Forces team entered the hospital to extract Mr. Vasu and his wife. Armed with advanced weaponry, they swiftly pushed back the zombies and successfully escorted the couple out into the hallway. At that moment, they also spotted Rin and Singh. For a brief moment, it felt like salvation had finally arrived. But then, without warning, one of the soldiers raised his weapon and shot Singh, wounding him in the shoulder. Without a word, they grabbed Rin and dragged her away, leaving Singh behind. They didn't care about him. They only needed Rin to ensure the continued safety and treatment of Mr. Vasu's wife. Amid the chaos, a zombie lunged forward, and Mr. Vasu immediately drew his gun and shot it dead. Singh lay on the ground, bleeding heavily, pain coursing through his body. Yet through the haze, all he could hear were Rin's cries and screams echoing in his mind. Fueled by love and sheer willpower, he rose to his feet. Despite the gunshot wound, Singh charged forward, using his Muay Thai skills to take on the heavily armed elite squad. He told Rin to run while he held him off. One by one, he fought the soldiers, even though they were trained and equipped for combat. The last soldier, arguably the most skilled, proved to be a formidable opponent. Even after Singh caught him in a chokehold, the man managed to draw a knife, break free, and launch a counterattack. The two clashed hand to hand in a brutal, evenly matched fight. At one point, the soldier pinned Singh to the ground and deliberately pressed into his wound, causing excruciating pain. He then locked Singh in a chokehold. Just as Singh was on the verge of passing out, a zombie charged in and distracted the soldier, giving Singh a chance to escape death. Seizing the moment, Singh used the soldier's momentum against him and delivered a powerful strike to his head, stunning him, though he still managed to stand. In a final clash, both men leaped toward each other and crashed to the ground. Dizzy and half-conscious, Singh could barely register the scene as the soldier was swarmed and torn apart by zombies. Struggling to stay awake, Singh clung to the last threads of consciousness, and it was Rin's face, her voice, her presence, that pulled him back from the edge. Singh regained consciousness, finding himself bandaged. Rin had tended to his wound. She wept beside him, overwhelmed with worry and pain. She told him through tears that she couldn't live without him. Normally stoic and reserved, Singh couldn't hold back his own emotions in the face of her sorrow. His eyes welled with tears. Then, he reached for the ring hanging from the chain around his neck, gently slid it onto her ring finger, and softly said that once they made it out of this place, the two of them would return to their hometown, together, to start a new life. However, at that moment, Buddy noticed that the elite soldier, now turned into a zombie, was staggering toward the room where they were hiding. Without hesitation, Singh sprang into action. He lured the creature inside, doused it with gasoline, and then lit a flame. Quote, the fire triggered the hospital's fire suppression system. As water sprayed down, the zombies seemed to revive and began mutating into a new generation, grotesque forms resembling the fish, the creature that had carried the original virus. Singh's group heard gunfire and made their way toward Mr. Vasu's location. There, they found that his wife had already been infected and was in the midst of transforming. Despite everything, Mr. Vasu didn't care. As long as his wife had woken up, he approached her, whispering words of love, only to be attacked by her. The newly evolved zombies suddenly became faster, more aggressive, and more bloodthirsty. They swarmed the only living body left in the room, Mr. Vasu, and tore him apart. Singh led Rin and Buddy in a desperate dash toward the rooftop. But the evolved zombies were too strong. They broke through the doors and stormed in. The three of them immediately turned and fled. Singh urged Rin to take Buddy and run ahead while he stayed behind to lure the horde in another direction. Armed with nothing but a metal rod, Singh faced the swarm of mutated zombies alone. As soon as he took one down, another leapt at him, fighting relentlessly. He was eventually forced to retreat into a nearby car to take shelter. Rin and Buddy made it to the rooftop. After a quick inspection, the rescue team decided to evacuate her. However, Rin pleaded with them to wait a little longer for Singh. The officer in charge agreed. He would give them 5 more minutes. Below, inside the car, Singh crushed a zombie's skull, but they came at him from all directions. He fought desperately, kicking him away with all his strength. Eventually, the car exploded, blasting the horde into pieces. Singh crawled out from behind the wreck, bloodied and exhausted, only to see an entire army of zombies charging toward him. The bomb planted by the special forces was set to detonate in just over 2 minutes. On the rooftop, the soldiers decided it was time for the helicopter to take off. Rin, heartbroken, begged him to wait just a little longer. Just then, Singh reached the rooftop. The zombies screamed behind him, but he heard Rin's voice calling out and used the last of his strength to rise and take a step toward her. But Singh had already made his decision. He would stay behind to fight until the end. He watched as Rin was lifted away to safety, and moments later, the entire hospital exploded before her eyes. Rin collapsed in anguish, witnessing the man she loved perish right in front of her. After the incident, Rin returned alone to her hometown and lived with Buddy. However, did the explosion truly take Singh from her, or, through some miraculous power, had he survived?